watching India Market Close, and it's undoubtedly been a fairly tough day for the markets. Let's just take a look at how the Nifty is holding up and pull up the intraday actually. But the fact is that the Nifty, though seen a fair bit of pain, has managed to be steady over the 23,300 level. So that sharp plunge in the morning on open and then range bound. We're about 0.75% down. We'll pull up the Nifty heat map very quickly and show you what is happening on the markets today as far as the key indices are concerned. Power Grid, Ultratech, Grasim, Hindalco. So those are the companies that are working well today. HCL Tech, IT has been the outlier where IT stocks have been doing relatively okay. Some private sector banks, we are seeing Kotak Mahindra Bank doing fine. But I would say Ultratech, Grasim, Hindalco, one group's companies there in the green, apart from a couple of IT stocks. What's hurting? Adani Enterprises, Adani Port, as expected after the news of statements made by Department of Justice as well as the SEC. A response has come from the Adani Group, and we'll talk about that in just a bit from now. Apart from that, SBI feeling the heat. PSU stocks and PSU bank stocks in particular are really seeing the pain today. NTPC down as well. And look at your consumption plays. ITC and Britannia also feeling the heat in trade today, apart from HCL, HUL and Nestle. So it's all a bit gloomy, so to speak. I just want to quickly pull up the advanced decline ratio to show you market breadth. Is this a Nifty story? Is this an overall story? And yes, definitely. This is beyond just one piece of news on one group company. This is an overall bearish mood in the market. You're seeing 1626 declines to 503 advances, less than 1:3. So that really is the problem coming there, and some geopolitical tension is going to be fueling that in the last minute of trade because the market finding it difficult to get a support. I want to pull up sectoral indices for you for a second, and I think one interesting bit over there that you will see, apart from Nifty IT, look what's happening with Nifty Realty. Surprisingly, and for no real clear reason, Nifty Realty is up today while everything else is down. Energy, PSU banks hurting the most, of course, media, metal, and all the rest in that same line. I'm just going to quickly pull up European markets before I hand it to Harsh for what's happening in the broader markets as well as specific stories. And here is where it gets important to note. DAX and CAC down in the red. FTSE is okay. Are we going to be seeing some sort of a sharp reaction to news that has just come that Russia has fired a set of ICBM, that's intercontinental ballistic missiles, into Ukraine? We're going to have to wait and see. Remember, this all started on Tuesday at closing with news that Putin has changed his nuclear doctrine. But since then, we've not seen too much panic globally. Will that change? Now, that is definitely one more factor to keep an eye on, Harsh. But from the global to the specific and especially broader markets, some pain points there as well.
Well, yes, let me in fact bring out the positives, Tamanna, in this market. Zaggle up 5% thereabouts on the back of new orders that they've, or rather new partnerships they've entered into. NLC getting into or, looking to invest 3,720 crore in green power projects. Mind you, 32,000 crore in terms of market cap that NLC has. Power Grid evacuating power from Khavda in Gujarat and up 3% thereabouts. You're seeing UPL 2.5% up. Good constructive, even analyst commentary seems to be constructive on the back of sale of assets as well as raising of equity will likely reduce the amount of debt that the company has taken up. In terms of stocks which are not doing as well, let's pull up something like a Hunasa, down 10% now. Issues with distributors. PSP projects down 9% after Adani Group has, or rather Adani Infra has taken over PSP projects. The 30% stake has been taken up at a 15% discount to Tuesday's closing price. So 9% down on that stock. You're also seeing pressure on power financiers, PFC REC down 4% odd. You're seeing pressure on something like an Aegis Logistics, despite a subsidiary, filing for IPO with SEBI. 3,500 crore IPO is what they're filing for. And you're seeing some pressure on something like a Britannia pulled up by the FSSAI. And along with it, a clutch of consumer names also seeing some bit of pressure. So So that's how it's essentially playing out. In terms of brokerages, also a couple of movers. Indian Hotels, 4% up. Jefferies, very constructive, among many others. Paytm up 2.5%. Bernstein positive on that one.